Greetings and salutations to you once again. It is I, the Ravenous Spectre, just like it always is. This is actually going to be a video about some of my favorite heavy metal bands. Now, granted, I love all different types of musical genres. I love classical music, I love orchestrated music, I love hard rock, I love soft rock, I love, let's see, I like some alternative. I especially love 90s alternative, which to me is the best era of alternative music, to be perfectly honest. Um, I also I like just a little sprinkling of certain hip hop songs or certain rap songs. Very small sprinkling, very small. Other than that, that's not those are genres I'm not really into. It's mostly within the rock category. I even like some country music as well because the thing with me with music is I actually grew up on country music and beach music and or like oldies music if you want to call it that, and gospel music or like Christian music, which I also listen to. Fancy the fact that I also listen to some contemporary Christian music as well as heavy metal, but there's also Christian metal as well, you know. But basically, I'm just a big conglomerate of like a whole bunch of different types of musical genres. Um, but anyways, when I reached the age of 12 was when I discovered a band, or bands I should say, called Pantera and Metallica. And those were the two bands that really got me into heavy metal, and I just shot off straight from there. I got into alternative rock, I got into punk rock, I got into heavy metal, and heavy metal's pretty much been the main genre that I pretty much stuck with. But like I said, I have my iTunes list is like filled with like a bunch of different music genres. Some of the ones I told you, even I even like some soundtracks. I love video game music. I love video game soundtracks as well. I love movie soundtracks as well, like Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, or video game soundtracks such as, say, Mass Effect or Final Fantasy VII, something along those lines. And hang on a second, I was just getting something on my PlayStation 4 downloading. But anyways, I'm going to try to make this a real quick video and give a little bit of insight on how I feel about certain metal bands. But first off, my all-time, well, not my all-time, but one of my all-time, I guess you could say, favorite heavy metal bands is Amon Amarth. If you look at one of my videos, you can see that I was actually wearing an Amon Amarth shirt, and I have two of those. I love the whole aspect of like the Norse mythology and the stories that the band tells, and they've really had a real huge evolutionary leap in terms of their music. Their older stuff I'm not too much into, but their newer stuff I've really gotten into, and I'm so excited for their new album that's going to be coming out later on this March. But I love the whole Viking theme that they have that's going on. I love the music. I love their sound. I love how melodic that it sounds. The melodic death metal, all of that. I love like the lyrics and the way that they're all the songs are portrayed. The art album is really awesome. The song lyrics are really awesome. Ever since I discovered them, I've always listened to them, and I've just loved them to death because the more new stuff they put out, it seems to me like the better that they're getting, and so that's definitely one of those bands that I really really love. Um, Let me just say this. Speaking of metal, there's a whole different types of genres of metal. There's power metal, there's thrash metal, there's death metal, there's hair metal, there's metal from the 1980s and metal from the 90s. There's industrial metal. There's just so many different types of metal, even metal I've never even heard of, which blows my mind. Because they have so many different sounds and everything. And screw anybody who says metal is all just noise. As far as I'm concerned, I feel like rap is all just noise. That's honestly how I feel about it. I mean, the majority of it, from what I hear of it, I feel like it's just noise. Especially I just feel like it's it's just aggravating on how booming and everything that it can get. I feel like I'm in a freaking jungle or something. But that's my opinion. You can have your opinion on how you feel about heavy metal. This is my channel. I'm gonna talk about metal. You don't like it, leave. So, anyways, another big band that I really like is Black Dahlia Murder. I don't like all of their songs. I like some of their songs. I do have a couple of their albums. I don't like all the lyrics that they have in some of their songs because they kind of really affect me, like negatively, I guess you could say. Like I'm not down with that devil Satan bullshit. I'm not down with that. I won't listen to that. I will not listen to any type of black metal, none whatsoever. I won't have that in my house. I won't have that in my head. I won't have it nowhere. So no, I'm not dealing with anything like that at all. So if you think I'm going to talk about black metal, it's not going to happen. Um, but some of their songs are really cool. Like some of their lyrics are like darkly poetic, and I like some of them, But as far as like having their discography or anything like that, that's just not happening for me. But I have like certain bands that I really stick with, and like with albums or like excuse me, like a bunch of different songs or something. And then there's some I just pick and choose some here and there. So I'm really gonna try to just stick with the ones that I have a lot of music from instead of just trying to go over every single metal band that I have and all the music that I have from them. So I'm just kind of just bear with me here. I'm trying to go down my list of different things that I have. Let's see. I like a little bit of Cattle Decapitation. I like some of their songs and Napalm Death as well. They got some good ones. Sabaton is really cool because they sing about history. They sing about war all throughout history. They sing about like World War II and like I think like feudal Japan or China or something like that. That's what I've heard. I haven't heard all of their music, but I think they sing about that as well. But they sing about different stories with soldiers and things of that nature, and that's really cool. That's what I like. I like songs that have meaning, that have stories to them, that have real lyrical content to them. And I also like Lamb of God. I like some of their stuff as well. Uh, Let me think. Storm is really cool because I like the pirate metal. I like the pirate metal. I love the whole pirate deal and everything, and the lyrics and the sound to all that is just freaking awesome. Yeah, I've got some Pantera and Death Clock. Obviously, that's a really. I think their first album is really really cool. So I'm really for Death Clock without a doubt. Demon Hunter is really cool. They're a Christian metal band. They sound really lately. They haven't been really been getting me. Their older stuff is really good up until a certain point, and then like their newer stuff just hasn't been anywhere near what it should have been of what I feel how it was back in the day. 3 Inches of Blood, I really like. It sucks that they've disbanded or they're gonna disband. I hope that there's something coming around when they get back together again. I like some Skeleton Witch as well. Let's see, I got some little bit of Hatebreed, Man of War. Um, Things of that nature, a little bit of Children of Bodom. And Disturbed used to be one of my favorite bands back in the day. They're not anymore. Their sound doesn't sound the same. When they disbanded the first time, they probably should have just stayed disbanded, to be quite honest, because their newer album is just melts my brain because there's only like maybe 2 or 3 songs I like off the whole thing. And like their previous album before that, I only like maybe 1 or 2 songs. It's not like a full album deal like I used to like back in the day. But let's see, I've got some Flesh God Apocalypse is really awesome. I love how heavy metal and orchestrated music is implemented with one another and how they blend together so well. It is insane. I think that's two of the most powerful sounds that you can have in the music world is really powerful orchestrated music and really powerful heavy metal music. And when you mix both of them together, especially with some really strong lyrics, it just blows you out of the park. I freaking love it. I got some King of Asgard. I have some Arch Enemy. Crimson Shadows is really cool. They're like a power metal band which is like talking about war and knights and battles and all of that. I love that stuff. I love like I said before, I love it when songs really tell stories, which is one reason why I like some country music is because of that, which we're going on the other end of the spectrum here when it comes to music, is because of the fact that I love the stories they tell. I like the love stories. I like the real deep emotional stories that they tell. I'm not all for that. Hey, I'm a redneck. I'm gonna drink me a beer and dance naked around a fire and get in my truck with my big old tires and spin them around and shoot mud every damn where all over the trees in the woods. I'm not down for that bullshit. I never will. I want ones that tell love stories or real true stories about life and things like that, and just leave it at that. That whole redneck hick bullshit, hell no, that's not happening. Not at all. I like some Mudvayne. You got some Static X. Dragon Force is one of my favorite ones as well. I love the guitar solos in that band. It's just insane how well that they play, and especially when they got a new vocalist, he sounds cool. I still miss the older one, but I still think that the new one really does fit in. I really do like their stuff as well. I got a little bit of older stuff like Quiet Riot and some older Metallica, which older Metallica is always good. Up until the Black Album, I think the Black Album backwards, I think, is their best music that they put out. I like a few off of Load and Reload, those two albums, but other than that, that's pretty much it. I just kind of fell off the track with them. Little, some System of a Down, that's cool. There's a really cool band called Strident that you guys should check out. If you happen to play Broforce, they actually did some of the music for that, especially the theme song for it, and it's really badass. You should definitely check it out. Let's see, Cataclysm, Insiphirum, which is like it's like folk metal, kind of like Viking metal in a ways. Some All That Remains, some Judas Priest as well, Battlecross, Slayer. I like a few songs by them. Let's see, Visigoth is really cool. They kind of have like a Dungeons and Dragons type of feel. Well, speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, there's another really cool uh, 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 band you should really check out, which is called Gloryhammer. They basically are guys that portray their characters on stage, and they are basically singing about their characters and other various characters in these stories that they create in their songs. And like each album tells a full length story, which is really badass, I think. And they have like a Dungeons and Dragons type of feel to it, which is really awesome. Oh, I got some Ex Mortis, Ingested. Let's see if we may have anything else. Cannibal Corpse. Cannibal Corpse is honestly one of my favorite bands. I got to be honest with you. Let's see. We got. See if I got anything else I can probably just pull out of the blue right here. Uh, do some Trivium. I do like some Trivium as well. Um, let's see, a little bit of Five Finger Death Punch and Devil Driver, things of that nature, and a little bit of Slipknot. There's probably some other ones that are on there, like in the hard rock category, which technically would be considered to be metal. But overall, I mean, that's kind of like a rough rundown of things, because I could probably still go on and on and on, and this video would be much longer than I would have planned for it to be. So anyways, guys, if you guys have any discussions or anything you want to do about certain metal bands, leave comments below, and we shall definitely have a little chat about them. But until then, adios. Oh, wait a minute. No, I meant later, taters.